Good morning, good morning, good morning, my brothers and sisters. Good morning, and welcome to another Good Morning Grief devotional. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. So happy and excited to have this time, this opportunity to come to you on today and lead you in a very special way in yet another grief devotion. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural and normal response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is what you reveal on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. And that's why we shout good morning, because morning is a good thing. And I want to thank you for joining us today. Thank you for allowing me to be your 2024 certified grief coach and just to coach you through the loss, change, and transition that you have experienced in your life. It is a plum pleasing pleasure. And I'm super duper excited to have this time and have this opportunity with you on today. Today is day 48, and we're going to talk about what I resist persist. What I resist persist. What I resist persist. This is so true in grief. We're going to look at it through the lenses of grief to help you to navigate through whatever you're dealing with. What you resist, it will persist. Let's talk about it, y'all. And grief is so easy to get stuck in anger or resistance. Those are normal feelings, but they can also become traps. Y'all, we can get stuck in anger or resistance. And even though these are normal feelings, it's normal to be angry, right? It's normal to have resistance. But if you get stuck in them, they can become traps. And that's the one thing you want to avoid. You want to avoid falling into these grief traps. There are grief traps that are waiting for you, grief traps that you can get stuck in that can prolong your grief traps that you can get stuck in that will um it will just even it'll worsen what you're feeling and what you're experiencing, right? And even though it's normal, natural and normal and necessary to feel this, you don't want to get stuck in a trap, right? We're going to talk about it a little bit more. Check this out. And grief is so easy to get stuck in anger or resistance. Anger or resistance. These are normal feelings, but they can also become traps. If I feel myself getting stuck in resisting some aspect of the loss or my grief, something I don't like and I wish I could change, but I can't, I'll take a step back and shine my self compassionate awareness on it. There's an aspect of grief where we get stuck. And I love the way this articulated. If I get stuck in some aspect of the loss or some aspect of my grief, something that I don't like and I wish I could change. There are so many things about what you're going through that you don't like and you wish you could change. You wish you could change the outcome, right? You wish you could bring them back. You wish you would have did something differently, right? You wish they would have did something differently. You look back and you look back and there's an aspect of something that happened that you wish you could change. You wish you would have did differently, right? We get stuck in some aspect of our grief. We get stuck in being angry about what happened. We get stuck in being angry at somebody who we believe had a hand or a part to play, right? And we end up getting stuck there. We get stuck in some aspect. And I'm not telling you not to feel. It's natural and normal to feel something about it. You don't want to get stuck there, right? And if you find yourself getting stuck in some aspect of your grief, right? Some aspect of the loss, something that you don't like, you wish you could change, but you can't. Take a step back. Shine your self compassionate awareness on it. This is the thing. We're not going to ignore it. We're going to explore it. We're not going to suppress it. We're going to express it, right? Take a step back. Shine the light of your self compassionate awareness on it. I'm aware of this, right? And there's going to be some self compassion that I'm going to employ. I'm going to give myself some grace, but I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to articulate it. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to explore it. I'm not going to suppress it. I'm going to express it. I'm going to address it, right? Why am I feeling this way? This is why I feel this way. I'm going to let it out. I'm going to let it out. I'm going to articulate what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling, why I'm feeling, right? I don't want to be stuck there. So guess what? I'm going to let that bad boy out. I'm going to let it rip. I will see that in continuing to resist some reality that I can't control, I'm only increasing my own suffering. If you continue to resist some reality about the loss, change, and transition, that you can't control, right? If you continue to resist it, you're only increasing your own suffering. This is any loss, change, or transition. Somebody doesn't want to be with you no more. If a company fires you and lets you go, if a loved one has died, the longer you continue to resist a reality you can't control, you're going to increase your own suffering, right? You are going to increase. They don't want you no more, right? And so, as long as you continue to resist that reality that you can't control, you're going to increase your own suffering. Yeah, they fired you, whether it was justly or unjustly, they let you go. The longer you resist the reality of that situation and that you can't control, you're going to continue to increase your own suffering. Your loved one has transitioned, right? And the longer you continue to resist the reality of something, because I wish you could bring them back, we can't, right? The longer you resist that reality, the longer you prolong and increase your own suffering. So there's a level of acceptance we have to arrive at. That not this is not the outcome that I hope for. Maybe you wanted to stay with that person forever, or maybe that was a dream job and you loved it and you wanted to be there forever, or maybe you was praying that this person would pull through and they transition anyway, right? And you go through all of the stages of feeling what you feel, but then the reality we get to the reality of the place of accepting that this is the outcome, right? I'm not going to resist it, right? I'm not going to resist the reality of what I can't control, but I'm gonna come into the awareness of accepting it, right? Accepting that this is the reality. This is the situation. This is the circumstance. This is the outcome, right? So how do I live with the reality of the current situation? How do I how do I accept it and continue to move forward in something that I can't change, right? A lot of times when it comes to grief, we grieve what we had in mind. And sometimes that's what we're wrestling with because we're grieving what we had in mind. We wanted to be with this person forever, and we had dreams of growing up and getting older and drinking lemonade on the porch with them. But they don't want to be with us no more. Now we're going through a divorce, and a lot of times it's not just the divorce, but it's grieving what you had in mind, the years you had in mind of how this thing would go, and it didn't go that way. We grieve what we had in mind. We didn't picture ourselves leaving the company or getting fired from the company. And this is the only thing we seen, right? And so we're grieving what we had in mind because this was not the plan for our life or a loved one that's died in transition. This is not what we had in mind. And so we're grieving what we had in mind because we thought we had more years, we thought we had more time, we thought we had more days with them. It's not the reality. So a lot of times it's coming to grips of that, and we grieve what we had in mind, right? And so a lot of times we resist what is because we're still hoping for what could have been, right? And so we grieve what we had in mind. And that's a wrestle. And you got to wrestle with that. You wrestle with that and and you keep on wrestling like Jacob wrestled with God. And then we get to the point, right, to where we finally get to the point of accepting this is the reality of my life. This is the reality of the situation. And it's okay, right? It's going to be okay, right? But the more that we resist it, the more pain we are inviting, the longer we prolong our grief process. Check this out, y'all. Yep, here it is. I want my pain to soften, not persist. So I work on letting go of resistance. If you want your pain to soften and not persist, work on letting go of resisting something that you can't control, resisting the outcome that you can't alter, right? Resisting the ending that there's no alternative to, right? You want to work on not resisting that, letting go of resistance. Here it is. Here's the final thought. I witness, accept, and allow what is. I witness, accept, and allow what is. I witness, I accept, I allow what is. I'm praying for y'all as y'all continue to navigate through this loss, change, and transition as you continue to go through your grief journey. I hope this lesson was a blessing to you. I hope it added value in some type of way. Today is day 48, what I resist persist. I'm on the move, y'all. Hope y'all have a safe weekend. Just continue to fight the good fight of faith. Continue to take small steps. It's going to lead to great distances. I'm rooting for you. I'm pulling for you. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's go.